All right, good afternoon, everyone. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Do me a favor and type a 1 in the chat box if you can see my screen and hear me. Type a 1 in the chat box if you can see my screen and hear me, please. All right, awesome. Thanks, Jim, Carl, Denny, Nanak, Larry, Donald, Tim. Sound good? Is audio good? Let me move my mic just a second. All right, awesome. We're going to get started here in just about 30 or 45 seconds here. We got some more folks kind of shuffling in. Go ahead and get cozy and comfortable, and we're going to get started here in just about 30 seconds. We get a glass of water. Encourage you to get something to drink as well, and I'll be right back. All right, folks, it is a minute or two past 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Central. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome. We have lots of folks tuned in today, so welcome. I do appreciate you spending your time with me. You are here to see training on hidden forces in the market. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Silas Peters, and I'm the founder and head trader of Seasonal Swing Trader. And first off, I want to thank everybody for taking the time out of your day, spending the time here. We're going to be together for about an hour or so. We'll try to keep it short and tight. Encourage you to ask all the questions you want. I will do my very best to get to all of them before the presentation ends. However, I do want to get through the meat of the presentation. We've got some exciting things to show you, exciting things to share, and we'll answer the questions towards the end. So if you've ever been on a call like this before, it may be a little different from what you've experienced in the past, because I really want to help you walk away with something you can begin applying today. In fact, we're talking immediately. But first, we must take a moment to read all this gobbledygook from our regulatory governing bodies and our attorneys that they require us to share. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There is substantial risk of loss associated with trading. Only risk capital should be used to trade. You can lose money in trading. So while everybody is reading that, becoming familiar with the risk disclaimer, why don't you do me a favor, tell me where you're from. Where's everybody tuning in from in the world? I am in LA or Lower Alabama, and I'm here on the Gulf Coast, just wrapping up Mardi Gras season. So where is everybody from? Where's everybody from in the world? We've got Michigan, we've got Dallas, Texas, Spring, Texas, Cleveland, New Hampshire, Ontario, London, UK, North Carolina, North California. Awesome. People from all over the place, so welcome. I want to respect everybody's time, so let's go ahead and get started. So my goal here for you today is pretty simple. If you're a new trader looking for a simpler way, if you're a more experienced trader looking for a better way, or really like the rest of us and looking for a more profitable and predictable way, you are on the right presentation, because I have you covered, and I do have a promise for you. What is my promise? Well, you're about to see how you can start experiencing explosive gains within your trades, all by paying attention to and trading in conjunction with hidden forces that drive the markets. How explosive are we talking? Well, that number will vary a lot, but one of the case studies I'm going to share with you, we're going to talk about a trade that we caught increased by 42.5%. Now, that may not sound like much. You're used to seeing 1,000% gains, 2,000% gains, and so on, but this trade equated to nearly $20,000 per contract. I shared it with members of my community, and several of them took action and did very well with it. And I found it all by using the strategy I'm going to be teaching you here momentarily. I want you to stop and think for a minute. Could you imagine what it would like to experience that kind of trading success yourself? To not just clear several $1,000s on one trade, but to be able to see those kinds of gains on a regular basis? What would it mean for your family, for their financial future? What would your friends or colleagues say? What would they say when they see things change for you, that you're doing it yourself and you're not depending on a broker? Do you think they'd respect you more, that they look at you differently? Can you imagine what that would feel like? These are trades that can literally change your lifestyle. And so that's why this presentation is so important, because I really do believe what you're about to learn here is going to move you forward towards achieving that financial goal. So now is the time to shut everything down, remove all distractions. That means closing browser tabs, logging out of Facebook, putting your phone on mute. Again, we're going to be together for about 60 minutes. And even though we are recording, I cannot guarantee there'll be a replay. So you want to make sure and listen closely. That said, let me properly introduce myself again. My name is Silas Peters. I'm a proud husband, also father to these beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed beauties on the right. And in this photo, we're standing in front of my alma mater at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. So 3 days after I graduated UA, I sold my car, packed up my small belongings, and I moved to the great city of Chicago, the old Windy City. And it's here where I cut my teeth at the commodity markets, working at the Chicago Board of Trade. And here where I was really bitten by the trading bug and never really looked back. While there, I helped run a global trading desk, placing and managing books of trades across the Americas, Asia, and European sessions, primarily working with large block order flow for hedge funds, banks, CTAs, large floor spec traders, and the like. I've also been a part of building and managing several futures and equity brokerage firms, managing operations, trading, back office sales, and support. Worked as a private family office investment consultant. I hold or have held these various futures and securities licenses. And then in 2016, I launched Seasonal Swing Trader. But it wasn't always easy. There was a learning curve. In fact, several obstacles and hurdles on the path to where I am today. The first step was obviously learning. School does not teach real life experience in the markets. I'm sure most of us can attest to that. In the beginning, I made money. In fact, I made a substantial amount of money. Was I lucky? I don't like to think that I was, but ignorance and greed cost me my profits. In fact, I blew up my account and I blew up a few others in what I like to call revenge trading. Finally, I went back to my roots, settled down, worked my process, and found consistency. And after all that time, working as a broker, trading for others, and now educating and supporting traders like yourself, make no mistake, I firmly believe that you can see success as a trader, but you're going to need two things to make that happen. You're going to need a strategy to follow, nothing too complex, or you won't even bother with it, and you need to take action. It really is just that simple. Because let me ask you an important question. Are you done? Are you done struggling and ready to experience some success and growth in your portfolio? Are you done spending hours upon hours of analyzing charts but never taking action? Are you done subscribing to dozens of expensive newsletters promising some hidden secret but never even having the time to read them all? So let me see where you are at in the comments. Who can resonate with one or all three of these bullets? So I'm seeing a lot of you, yes, of course, a lot of you are really ready to get some big wins. So if you're here, you're willing to take the time out of your busy schedule to come on this presentation, I have a feeling you are looking for a different way, really an easier way than what you've been doing before. So yeah, I appreciate the feedback there. So that's what we're going to be covering today, the easier way, and that is understanding that there are hidden forces in the market, and when you learn to leverage them, you can see some darn near explosive gains. And again, this strategy will work in any market, whether you trade stocks, options, futures, or Forex. So during this workshop, we're going to focus in on three big ideas that I really want you to pay attention to. The first one is the hidden in plain sight pattern that most traders miss and how you can benefit from those immediately. Next, I want you to clearly understand what data you must focus on and what you can ignore so you can trade in confidence. And finally, I'm going to show you a way that will shorten the time you spend analyzing charts, all by utilizing a simple three-point strategy. So forget about all the other noise. We're going to keep it straightforward and simple today. So let's dive in and talk about the hidden in plain sight pattern most traders miss and how you can benefit from those immediately. What are these hidden forces in the market? Simply put, they are historical data patterns, also known as cyclical patterns or seasonal markets. They have been scientifically proven to beat out every other traditional investment strategy. It's true. A recent study analyzed over 200 years of data across 68 markets where they reviewed the returns on several different investment strategies. Trading off of seasonality outperformed all other strategies, and it outperformed the others by a long shot. It's hard to beat 200 years of proof, so let's get into what these cyclical patterns actually are. Now, a market can be classified as seasonal when it has a unique or specific demand during different times of the year. Cyclical markets follow the general trajectory of the economy or are based on weather or planting seasons. A few other not so obvious factors that influence repeatable behavior include tax seasons and fiscal policies set by world governments, as well as the movement of large amounts of capital by institutions, banks, hedge funds, and the like. But the most common denominator is that all these markets and patterns are repeatable. They happen over and over again like waves crashing on a shore. The key is knowing when that wave is coming in and then learning how to ride it. Let's look at some familiar examples. When you think the price of Walmart is going to rally the most? Right after Thanksgiving. Why? Because there's so many Christmas sales that take place at that time. In fact, one of the very best trades that you'll ever hear is to buy Walmart about 2 days before Thanksgiving and sell 3 or 4 days later. Year after year, Walmart has almost always rallied at that time, and it makes perfect sense. In fact, most retail stocks will rally because of Christmas sales that start on Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving. Here's another example. Wheat is harvested in the fall, and people barbecue more pork and beef in the summer. What do you think that does to the price of those commodities? They tend to rise. Coca-Cola. Everybody's familiar with Coke. KO also rallies in the summer more than the winter because people drink more Coca-Cola Classic in the summer months. So whatever your market is, you can find its seasonal patterns. In fact, if you want to know the best time to buy or sell your favorite markets, you must know its seasonal or cyclical patterns. And here's some proof. KO rallying in a methodical and predictable fashion following its cyclical seasonal patterns that happen year after year. So let's take a look at the case study I mentioned in the beginning, here, so you can see exactly what I'm referring to. Excuse me. Here's a weekly chart of crude oil on a continuous contract. This chart dates all the way back to 2001. Now notice all of the little green circles on the chart. That's where I've highlighted these cyclical patterns that we're talking about. And you can see that for the past 18 years, from December 2001 to December 2019, crude has followed the same cyclical or seasonal pattern, which is driven by supply and demand. So it's pretty clear that crude oil, just like most energy stocks, really classify as a seasonal market. Here's why this matters. So unlike what you may hear on the news from the talking heads or so some called expert, the demand for crude remains relatively stable throughout the year. However, it really starts to pick up as we enter the new year. To meet the upcoming demand of that time period, distributors will begin to stockpile supplies as early as January. So while refineries are shutting down briefly to prepare their supply, their doing so usually leads to an immediate boost in prices until those facilities are back in full operation, which is the cause of the explosive spikes we see here on this chart. But enough about the fundamentals. Let's talk about the trading opportunity here and how it can benefit you. This is a consistent, predictable pattern that has held true for the last 18 years. Does that mean it's going to work next year or this year, the year after? No, nothing is guaranteed in life and certainly not in trading. No one can predict the future. However, this is a high probability pattern and would be a smart trade to make. And I can guarantee you that I and my members wait for this setup every year. And the good thing is that it's only one market. So if our goal was to simply try and stay on the winning side when we trade, making trades following historical and seasonal cycles that have proven themselves again and again is not only logical, it's just plain smart. So you may be wondering, what would you have pocketed from this trade? Well, that all depends on what instrument you were trading, how many contracts, your account size, and where you exited or managed your risk. But the point is, did you know where the trend was likely headed? Did it get and keep you on the right side of the market? So just to give you an idea here, with crude, each contract represents 1,000 barrels. Each tick or minimum move is a penny per barrel or $10 per contract. So a full point movement equates to $1 per barrel or $1,000 per contract. So that means that each of these 4 moves you see were worth roughly $14,000 to $15,000 per contract. You see that bad boy in the middle was a $25,000 move. So with opportunities like that, doesn't it make sense to trade with the trend, to follow historical and cyclical patterns with your trades? I would certainly think so. So having spotted this pattern, you could have traded the following. You could have traded USO, UCO, SCO, OILU, XLE, a myriad of ETFs, leveraged and unleveraged, energy stocks, crude futures, crude options, and CFDs. You don't have to move the family to trade these. There are lots of different ways to take advantages of these types of opportunities. So you may be thinking, Silas, that sounds great, but it's easy for you because you know how to read those charts and what to look for. What do I need to focus on in order to find these patterns? That brings us to our second big idea of the workshop, and that's understanding what data you must focus on and what you can ignore so you can continue to trade in confidence. Because let's be honest here for a minute, there is a lot of information out there, a lot of techniques or quick fixes, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed and not know where to start. So before we consider what you need to focus on, let's address what you need to ignore. Popular but completely unreliable sources of trading information include talking heads, planetary movements, market wizards, and of course, annoying neighbors. We're not really going to trust Ned Flanders with our family's financial future, are we? Of course not. So the first step is to cut out the unnecessary noise. Then I want you to memorize and follow the focus formula. What the heck is the focus formula, you ask? It's simply X plus Y plus Z equals consistent profits. All the information you need. So let's talk about the 3 most important things that you need to pay attention to. First part, what we've been talking about is historical data. That's just looking at the past in order to see the future. Excuse me. The key things that you want to pay attention to here are the time of year, dates, the stock, commodity, currency has done over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, global events that may affect the underlying. From this information, you're going to be able to start recognizing trends and patterns. So you can shave years off of your research process when you are aware of these unique calendar windows. You've probably heard it before: Santa Claus rally, sell and may go away, the January barometer, first 5 days indicator. With the Santa Claus rally boosting stock prices into year end, we can check that off and turn our attention to the next seasonal calendar window. Knowing the specific time of the calendar windows, when to be long, when to be short, or where to be even flat, give you a huge edge in the market. You immediately have an edge over your Main Street buy and hold financial advisor. So you can compare that with sectors using the same logic to figure out why the top performing sectors typically outperform the S&P 500. Are you familiar with the term sector rotation? You can bet you know what the top institutional money managers, hedge funds, pension funds do. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, of inflows and outflows at very specific times of the year across these sectors. Stocks, as they always do, follow money flows, and they fluctuate in ways that echo the past. What about industries? Why do you think real estate stocks thrive at specific times of the year, or airline stocks? How about energy-related stocks, home builder stocks? Your brain should be spinning now, but in a good way, an almost aha moment. We like the market move in cycles, predictable cycles, month after month, year after year. And that leads us to the last group, commodities, which in my opinion have even greater seasonal tendencies because these are markets that are tangible, physically consumed, grown, planted, harvested, and are dependent on the worldwide supply and demand at various times of the year. Can anybody give me some examples? What about cocoa in February, gold in December, grains in the summer? Yep, of course. Next part of the focus formula is technical analysis. Let me be honest with you. Using seasonality as a standalone tool to make investment decisions is not recommended. Is it powerful? Does it perform better than other strategies? Yes, but I want you to look at seasonality as a useful analytical tool and use it in conjunction with fundamentals and technical analysis. So we know that we're looking at seasonal or cyclical patterns that are at least 75 to 80% plus profitable. We also prefer to trade technical patterns that typically display the same win rate, 70, 75, 85% plus win rate. We're talking about time-tested seasonal patterns combined with time-tested technical patterns. Your chances of choosing a profitable seasonal trade are greatly enhanced if both methods of analysis are combined. When they are used with equal importance, your chances of losing capital are reduced. So let's take a look at some of these proven technical patterns that will increase your success. Who here is familiar with the head and shoulders pattern, head and shoulders top and bottom pattern? And we're going to look at some charts and look at some scans here at the end of the presentation, so I encourage you to stick around. In fact, I shared an idea today based off this principle. So here's the head and shoulders pattern, and this is what it looks like on a chart. Here is a daily chart of cocoa, left shoulder, neckline, head, neckline, right shoulder. We look to get short on breaks below the neckline. What about 1, 2, 3 tops and 1, 2, 3 bottoms? If you've been following me for any length of time, you know this is one of my bread and butter strategies. What is a 1, 2, 3 top or 1, 2, 3 bottom? Here's the same cocoa chart. We have a 1, 2, 3 bottom. We know we're looking to get long on breaks above the number 2. We also have a 1, 2, 3 top embedded in the head and shoulders top pattern. How about double tops and double bottoms? Double tops and double bottoms, or M or V patterns. Here's a weekly chart of deer. We have a double top, high here, and we're looking to get short on breaks below this line here. All right, what about pennants, triangles, and wedges? Pennants, triangles, and wedges, also one of my favorite patterns. Here we have a same weekly chart of deer. This is your triangle or your wedge, whatever you want to call it. We get long on breaks above the trend line right here. So hopefully you are beginning to see the power of these high probability patterns, and when they align with high probability historical cycles, that's called putting the odds in your favor. So that brings us to the third part of the focus formula. That's good old-fashioned common sense. Common sense would tell you not to randomly buy or sell a market just because of a date on the calendar. Common sense that says that while pizza stocks may be affected by the Super Bowl, you don't go bet the family farm on Papa John's every February 1st. We must wait for the market to confirm that a seasonal move is actually underway based on what the chart is telling us, and that is when we look to take action. I want to make sure you can still hear me. I had a price alert go off and I could not figure out how to turn it off. Can everybody still hear me? All right, sorry for that brief annoying interruption. All right, thank you. So that's why I came up with the focus formula, because after spending years analyzing, researching, and trading the markets, I found that the closest thing to the ever elusive holy grail is to use plain and simple common sense in your approach to trading. There are about as many indicators in the marketplace as there are cryptocurrencies, and you know what? Most of them are worthless. What you need is a high probability historical pattern combined with a high probability technical pattern compared with a level head of common sense. Those three things are what I call the perfect marriage in trading and can help set you up for success in your approach. So here is the secret formula once again. Write it down, tape it to your forehead. Historical data plus technical analysis plus common sense equals consistent profits. All the information you need. So that's the presentation. Thanks for joining me. Let's shut it down. I'm just kidding. We're going to keep going. You may be thinking, that sounds great, Silas, but how can I find those setups so quickly? And trust me, I hear you. Nobody likes to spend all day stuck behind their screen. That brings us to our third big idea of the workshop, and that's how you can shorten the amount of time you spend analyzing the charts. So now that you have your strategy in place, now that you're ready to take action, what next? How do we even begin scouring through years or even decades of stocks, futures, currencies, data, patterns, cycles? What if there was a push button solution? Literally a scan and go function that could lay out years of historical data on a silver platter. Type a 2 in the chat box if you'd like to have that opportunity. Take a swig of water here. All right, great. Awesome. A lot of twos coming in. So when I'm talking about a push button solution, I'm talking about literally a push button solution that delivers the following. The symbol, that's kind of important, right? What about the bias? Do we want to be long? Do we want to be short? Do we want to be flat? What about a suggested entry date, suggested exit date? Everything that provides the framework for my daily process. That's precisely why we developed a scanner, and it's called the smartMARKET scanner. In fact, we had 3 different variations, one for stocks, futures, and Forex. So we built a scanner to allow technology to do the heavy lifting. Rather than manually looking through decades and decades of data, trying to spot these patterns, we now have a tool that searches historical patterns and trends for us and locates setups that meet a certain criteria of success. So whether you trade stocks, futures, or Forex, ETFs, options, or commodities, there is now a push button solution. So how do we do it? Let's walk through the process together. And let me show you. This tool will allow you to choose all of the key relevant information you need, like which month and symbol you wish to see the trend for, as well as how often the trend should win. Do you only want to see bullish setups, bearish setups, or both? How long do you want to see the seasonal trend to be? A minimum of 7 days, 10 days, but no more than 20, 30, 40. You click the search button, and what would take years to deliver is now done in seconds. And you're not just limited to only a symbol, entry date and exit date. In fact, there's enough data here to create an entire computer model. But as I said before, I like to keep things simple. So let me show you how I use it and go through the key information you have access to. So who here wants to dive in and see how this works? Who here wants to dive in and see the actual scanner and work? All right, give me a moment here and I'm going to pull up the scanner. And do me a favor, if you can see do me a favor and tell me if you can see the scanner here. We've got Smart Futures, we've got Smart Forex, and we've got Smart Stocks. Can everybody see this? Make sure everybody can see this. And my screen is not frozen. Okay, sorry about that. You guys were all answering and I had my question box scroll all the way up. All right. So here we go. This is the scanner in action. So what you see here, based on this, we've got the score, the trend, the symbol, the company name, the start date, end date, win percent, here's data, calendar data, profit, average profit in dollar percent, risk reward, etc. So let's go back to the scanner here. And everything where you see a field are adjustable parameters or variables that you can set as the end user. So if we want to look by month, we can simply choose by month. We want to look by symbol, we just change to symbol, and we can look by symbol, okay? If we want to find trends that have won at least 90% of the time, or maybe 75, etc., we manipulate that data here. If we want to see both bullish and bearish scans, only bullish or only bearish, we can choose here. We want to say, let's say, find trends that have won at least, that have lasted at least 10 trading days, but no more than 40. Or if you want to trade weekly options and say last maybe no more than, last at least 2 days, but no more than 7. Or if you're more of a swing position trader, you can expand that. And here, if you want to find at least, say, trends or historical data with at least 5 years of data, 7 years of history, 10 years of history, so on, you do all that, you crunch the numbers, and you hit the search button. And once you hit the search button, you're going to get all of your results. we have 445 results based on this criteria alone. Now, what we're looking at right now are ideas that were populated based on the month of February, 90% win rate, bullish and bearish scans, lasts at least 10 trading days, no more than 40, with at least 10 years of history. And we're only searching right now in the S&P 500. But you have the option to look in whatever index or sector you wish. If you want to look in the NASDAQ, the Dow, or if you want to look in financials, healthcare, services, technology, utilities, and more, you simply select that. You could even create your own custom watch list. Create your own custom watch list, and you can save that and search and scan that way. So, as I said, you have all of this data at your fingertips. And even better, this is all sortable. It's all sortable by columns. So if you want to search by score, you can search by score, with 5 being the highest scoring idea and 0.01 the lowest probability score. Okay. If you want to search by trend, bearish opportunities or bullish only, you can do that. Symbols only, company name, start date. We want to search by start date and score. You can sort by all of that. Now, column options, you can choose to sort by priority. So mine are set to score. So the sort priority is set to score first and then the start date. So I can choose only show me the highest scoring trade ideas first, and then show next by date, and you can manipulate all that as well. So let's say that we found some trades that we like, and I'm going to clear that, and let's say that we like these first 4 trades. We select all of these trades. Actually, before I do that, let me go over here. Notice that when you click on each of these 4 windows are changing. So let's go to PGR. If we click on this, this is the probability graph, or not the probability graph. This is your equity curve graph. If you had taken this trade every year since 2009 at the suggested entry and exit date, that's what your equity curve would look like based on $2,500 allocated. You can change this based on 100 shares allocated or a dollar amount, whatever your preference is. Here is your equity table, your profit P&L table. Just think of this as a candlestick. The top of the wick is the high of the max equity or gain during the life of the trade. The low of the wick is the max drawdown, and here's where it closed. This was the only loser in 2009 for the total history of this particular example. Here's your probability graph. You can see your average risk and reward on the trade. And here's a year-by-year breakdown based on trading $2,500 or allocating $2,500 per stock. Your begin date, begin price, end date, end price, max drawdown, and your close P&L. So if we go back over here and we say that we scroll through and we like these first 4, what we can do is then add those to step 2, and we'll go to step 2. This is our portfolio tab. In our portfolio tab, we now have the option to even filter this even further using neural network analytics. And here is where you can filter your portfolio. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's add these back. And let's go back here. And what I wanted to do is user preferences. So here is where, if we want to change our account balance, whether this is a hypothetical account balance or maybe it's a real account, say your IRA or 401k that you're managing, or some other taxable account, you can put whatever figure you want there. If you want to allocate a certain percentage of your trade, or just maybe say 100 shares per trade, you can do that. Notice that it changes over here. See, this is on $2,500. I changed it to quantity, it's on 100 shares. Now, here's the neural network risk tolerance, conservative, moderate, or aggressive. And you can see exactly what all that means once you click the help button, okay? So I'm gonna close that tab, and once you select this data, that's when you'd want to calculate the odds or the probability of your trade. And this is done on a daily basis. So each day it's taking in fact a lot of proprietary and technical data and real-time market data telling you how probability that trade idea may be based on the current market environment. Okay, it's factoring lots of different information. Next, so let's say that we only like, after we run our calculation, I'm not going to do that right now for the sake of time, but we select these two, we can then add those two trade alerts. We go to the trade alerts, and now I've got a lot of ones in here from another example, but let's go back and we'll add those, add the trade alerts. We can set our own custom alert tab, our own custom alert service. We schedule the alerts by clicking this button here, and we can set up our alerts to either come to us via email or SMS text. And you don't need the program to run for the alerts to fire off. So you can select multiple alerts. You know, if you want to put 5, 10, 15, 20 in here, you schedule the alerts and they'll be sent to you via SMS text or email, depending on how many days you want them to come to you. If you want them to come a day before the setup, 2 days, 5 days, you set that up accordingly, okay? We've already gone through the settings tab here. Here's where you're going to select your different groups. Now, if we go to futures markets, it's the exact same process here, exact same software, same process, but under settings, you're going to find the different groups of commodities. So whether you just want to look in currencies, energies, grains, meats, metals, and so on, you'll do that there, but it's the exact same process. And then over in currencies or the Forex market, same process, same setup, and you would just, you know, there's really no group here. It's either all or all, none, or a customize. If you don't trade the, say, the pound pairs or the Aussie pairs, you can just remove those and create your own group. All right, pretty cool stuff. And we'll go back to that here at the end of the presentation. So looking at this particular example here, you can see we ran a scan 90% of the time in May, lasts at least 30 days, no more than 90, at least 10 years of history. We hit search, and we found a high probability trade. All right, so then that's when we like to go into the chart. So we go into a daily chart and we look at TDG. Now, as you can see, at the time that we went into the chart, we were trading sideways or in a consolidated manner. What we're looking for here is, we know that C's analysis says we should go higher on or around May 20th, but we're consolidating. We need to wait for that extra confirmation if we're smart. And what happens? We draw a box around the channel. You can see we're consolidating here between the 50 and 100-day moving averages. We break out of the congested area. That's our signal to get long TDG, buy call options, or sell put credit spreads. All right. Oh, we didn't cover this. Inside the software, you can always go back and click inside your portfolio. You can double click on the chart and see what it had done in the past or what it is doing currently. And so here's what that looked like on TDG. Showed you the suggested entry date and the suggested exit date. Here's another case study. This is a bearish scan on MAC. Again, looking for setups in May, 90% of profit, at least 30 trading days, no more than 90, at least 10 years of history. We found a 92% winning trade in MAC. Does it mean it's 100 going to work this year or the year next? But this one has a 92% win rate. We like those odds. Here we look at the year-by-year breakdown. We can see our average P&L and our average drawdown. Does it meet our risk-reward criteria? If it does, then we move into the charts. So we go to MAC, and you can see that the trend is down. The market is between the 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages, but we're trading kind of counter trend. We're trading up into the 50-day moving average. I love to see this. I love to see this Market's trading up. We wait for a reversal candle to happen into the 50 or even 100 day. That's what we got. We're able to short MAC by buying put options or selling out of money call spreads. Here's a futures case study. This one is on cocoa, called for a bullish trade on or around June 3rd. We see a year-by-year breakdown, year-by-year max or average drawdown, average P&L. Does it meet our risk-reward criteria? It does. We go to the chart. Here we are again. Trend, overall trend is up. Price action is above the 50, 100, and 200-day moving average, but we're trading to the downside. We love to see that. The market's trading down. We know that we're ready to pounce for a high probability seasonal opportunity. So here we are, market trades down. We put in a nice bullish reversal candle or pin bar here into the 50 and 100-day moving averages. Reversal candle, we buy cocoa, we buy call options, we sell out of money put spreads. Here's one last example on the pound yen. Bullish example on the pound yen, start date on set 8, end date of set 19. Those are suggested entry and exit dates. We see a year-by-year max drawdown, max P&L. We go to the chart. This one is trading below the trend here, below the 50 and 100-day moving averages. We mark this and see how we react. We get a large bullish candle here at the 50-day moving average. Tells us that the buyers are stepping in. We step in. Notice that the suggested exit date was around set 19. This was set 19, took us right into profit. Reverses here, very clear reversal pattern at the 100-day, which would have been a smart reason to go ahead and exit the trade. So let's recap here. Let's recap what we've covered so far. You were introduced to the powerful practice of using historical data to guide your trading behaviors. You also learned about the focus formula, what is literally my holy grail of trading, to understand what data you must focus on and what you can ignore. And you saw several different ways you could shorten the amount of time you spend analyzing charts, all by finding hundreds of high probability setups that you can take action on. But let me ask you a question. Now that you've heard several different ways allowing you to shorten the time you spend researching trades, how would you like to get access to that software scanner and the alerts that we just talked about? Good. Of course you are. So I went into the lab because I had members and students clamoring for something like this. To build something like this, heck, I even wanted something like this, a simple push button solution and approach that would hand me high probability trade ideas on a virtual silver platter, spoon feeding me every day like a baby. But let me ask you another question. What if we could even shorten the learning curve for you and have someone scanning and trading alongside you every day? I put 1 in the chat if you would like that. Excellent. Awesome. Seeing lots of 1s. Yes, we do have a push button solution for you. So I mentioned that letting technology do the heavy lifting is one method to speed up your historical research. But in addition to having your own software and scanner, what if you had more analysis spoon-fed to you? We're talking about actionable trade alerts sent to you via email and SMS text. So starting 2018, I have started offering an alert service to members of my seasonal swing trader community. Those who subscribe to the service receive basically all the info you're receiving, you're getting the scanner, but with precise entry, exit, and trade management details. So to give you a better idea of what a service like this can do, here are a few examples. Obviously, when it comes to the fastest method of research out there, having somebody do it for you is not just the fastest, it's pretty profitable. You're giving the symbol, the price, entry, exit, even alternative ideas for different asset classes, whether you trade ETFs, futures, Forex, and all the trading account types. So here are real examples that we called in our service. In natural gas, Twitter, Japanese yen, we are not biased to the long side, the short side, or neutral. We're only looking for the very best opportunities. So here are some unsolicited testimonials. I don't ask for these, they come in all the time, and I'm very pleased, but most importantly, I'm humbled and grateful that people are actually taking action and making money with the software scanner and the alert service. So if you like access to the same tools, resources, and ideas that these and several hundred other members enjoy, then I'm pleased to introduce to you the smartMARKET Scanner Premium Package. smartMARKET Scanner is your time-saving solution to finding hundreds of high probability setups in only a few minutes each day. And I've been able to put together a very special offer so that you have everything you need to take action on what you just learned. So let me share with you what you'd be receiving in this package. First off is the Smart Seasonal Software Bundle. There are actually 3 separate scanners in this bundle, one for stocks, one for futures, and one for Forex. And yes, this is the exact same software you just saw me demonstrate. You will have the exact same level of access to this tool that I do. It's going to help you identify seasonal trends that can be identified at a glance with a click of a button by pulling from decades upon decades of data. You cannot get any more time saving than that. As you've seen, it offers very detailed statistics showing you your optimal entry, optimal exit, duration, only the most important information you need to make your decisions on. And also does the math for you, calculating your projected profit, projected drawdown, as well as your average daily profit gain and drawdowns. Shows you your drawdown metrics, the total max gain, max draw, trading days in history, even includes your sector and industry details. So let's consider a few different ways you can use this. You can, of course, and obviously trade with the trend, trades in the seasonal trend. You can also check for counter seasonal pullbacks, kind of like what we just talked about in some of those examples. Don't just blindly buy or sell on an exact date. Watch closely for counter moves and reversals to get better prices. Also helps you find and spot market bias, allowing you to mix and match short-term trades versus longer-term trades. Use multiple time frame analysis. And as I said earlier, use it for options trading. That's what I do. You see a high probability seasonal sell setup, we buy put options, sell call credit spreads. You see a high probability bullish trade, we buy call options or sell put spreads. You can even use it to trade minis, micros, ETFs, whatever your trading style is. And as you've seen, you can set up your own custom alerts for even more efficient trading. So with the smartMARKET Scanner Premium Package, you're going to get annual access to all 3 of the software programs included in the bundle. One for stocks, one for futures, and one for Forex, as well as multiple training videos and strategy guides. So it's 12 months of access to the 3 software programs and the additional training, and it's valued at $596. With the smartMARKET Scanner Package, you're going to get annual access to all 3. Next, you're going to be given annual access to the Seasonal Swing Trader Pro Alert service. With this service, you're going to be alerted to high probability setups via both email and SMS text, as well as be given a trade tracker Google Doc to keep track of all of your wins and losses. In this service, I analyze over 100 stocks and ETFs, 35 commodity markets, and 35 currency markets. The real-time value for this is $1,167. Here are some examples of these real-time trade alerts that are sent via email and SMS text. You can see we leave no stone unturned. We don't throw you out to the wolves. You get access to the complete trade setup from entry to end across all markets, stocks, options, ETFs, futures, and Forex. Next, you also receive monthly member bonus sessions where you can ask me questions directly live on the call. In fact, we're going to have our next live monthly session next week. We run through scans, we look at charts, we discuss upcoming seasonality plays, short and long-term opportunities, different strategies. These sessions are only available to members of the SST Pro community. You're going to have access to these for 12 months. All are archived and placed in the members portal for your viewing convenience. Those are valued at $2,388. Also going to be providing exclusive members only scan updates and additional training videos showing you exactly what data I'm researching. These scans are provided to you every week. So as part of this package, you're going to be receiving 52 weeks of these additional current trainings. They're valued at $3,900. So that's everything. All 8,000 $52 worth of software, training, and member exclusive bonuses. The smartMARKET Scanner Bundle, SST Pro Trade Alert Service, monthly member only bonus sessions, weekly scan updates, and videos. But I want to include a few additional bonuses to reward those of you who take action. First is my chart pattern principle course. It's a 90+ page PDF manual with additional strategies, patterns, seasonal trends and setups, and much, much more. Valued at $297. Also going to include my top 25 option strategy guide. This is really helpful for those that are just dipping their toes in the world of options, as well as those that are more seasoned. Strategies for all skill levels, from basic calls and puts to more intermediate advanced, such as calendars, condors, verticals, butterflies. It's valued at $147. And for serious action takers, we're going to include VIP email support for myself. So just so you know, I handle all of my own email support. I do have a support team, but I do read and answer all of the questions that come in. And so this is obviously not something that I can give away to everyone. This is the closest thing I can offer to direct access to me. So for the first 25 people who are ready to take action, you're going to get VIP email support, valued at $397. So that brings the total value of the smartMARKET Scanner Premium Package to $8,893. Let me ask you this. If all this did was help you improve your record, to generate more wins and losses, what would that be worth to you? If all it did was allow you to unsubscribe to other tools and newsletters that you aren't even using, what would that be worth to you? If all it did was help you place 1 to 2 winning trades, what would that be worth to you? Obviously, I'm not going to charge you $8,893, even though we both agree that would be a fair price after looking at the software in the past trades this service has delivered. I'm not even going to charge you half of that because I don't want cost to be a barrier to your success. You already seen what this software can do, the probability of the alert service, how much time it will save you. Even just one profitable trade is likely to cover the entire cost of your small investment. That's why today, as part of a special release of this package, I'm offering you an introductory price of $797. Offer link is seasonalswingtrader.com/scan. We'll put that into the chat box for you. Hopefully you can see that. seasonalswingtrader.com/scan. So here's the complete offer. smartMARKET Scanner Premium for 12 months. SST Pro Trade Alert Service for 12 months. Monthly member bonus only sessions for 12 months. Weekly scan updates and videos, 12 months or 52 weeks. Chart pattern principle course, 25 top option strategy guide, and VIP email support for the first 25 people. Limited time price of $797. The offer link is seasonalswingtrader.com/scan. See lots of questions coming in. Appreciate your interest and your patience. I'm going to get to all those here momentarily. Let's talk about the training. What about the training? I don't leave my members and students hanging. I want you to understand exactly and precisely what you're getting. And you can see this is the members area. There is I think a 40-page PDF guide, a program guide that goes into every detail and nook and cranny of the software and scanner. There's 13 modules, all broken out into nice bite-sized pieces. We're talking 2, 3, 4 minutes long. We don't need anything that lasts hours and hours because it's really just that simple. It's not rocket surgery. So also monthly member bonus sessions. Here are your bonuses in the members area. We'll show you, I'll show you exactly what the members area looks like. Here are all your bonuses with some unannounced bonuses. So let's talk about the process again. We keep it very simple, short, simple, and sweet. We want to know what does every trader basically need to know? What market they should be looking at, or what month they should be looking in. What is our winning percent? What is our risk percent? We know that trades are not 100% profitable. Do we want to be bullish, bearish, or maybe both, or neutral? What is our bias? What is our time frame? It all depends on the individual trader. Are you a short-term trader, an intermediate trader, or longer-term position trader? And then we scan for the results. We do our analysis. Does it make sense? It makes sense to get into the market at this time frame based on the data that's given to us without us spending literally years combing through data ourselves. So here's the offer again, smartMARKET Scanner Premium Package, $797. That is a full year to the scanner, software, and trade alerts. Okay, so let me get to your questions here. Let me get to your questions. Yes, we can go to the members area. Let me go to that. All right. Type a yes or a Y in the chat if you can. Let me know if you can see the members area. Yes, we are recording. All right, so here is the members area. Once you log in, go to products and you'll want to go to smartMARKET Scanner Premium. That's going to take you to this page right here. This page right here. This is where you're going to download the software. You're going to download the software right here. Smart Stocks, Smart Futures, and Smart Forex. Here is your training manual. Here's your training manual. I'm just going to select Read Now. It's going to open up a PDF that you can download to your desktop, and it covers everything that you need to know. Here are all of your training videos. Here's all of your training videos right over here. Again, broken down into nice bite-sized nuggets, 2, 3, 4 minutes, showing you exactly how to use various features of the software. And your monthly member bonus sessions are down here. Regarding the Seasonal Swing Trader Pro piece of it, you're going to go back up to products and go to SST Pro. And that's going to take you to this page. Here are some different bonuses, some guides, and so forth. Here's where you sign up for SMS text, welcome video, how to trade the alerts and PDF and video. Click this right here. This is going to give you all the things that we're watching for. You get this every week. You get this sent this to you every Sunday. And then here are some additional bonus videos and things like that for your reference. All right. Look at some of these questions here. Can you download the tutorials? I don't think that they are downloadable. You can record them if you wish. You can download the PDF, but these will just play right here. Those will just play right there on your desktop. So those aren't downloadable, no. How long do you get the alerts? You get the alerts for 12 months. Does it provide option setups? The software or the scanner does not provide option setups. They're giving you the underlying, but if you want to trade options, that is up to you. Now, in my alert service, I do provide option ideas, but there are so many variables. We cannot keep track of every possible scenario. As you know, there's different expirations, there's strikes, there's premiums. A lot of different things come into factor, the duration, different ways you can trade, buy calls, buy puts, sell calls, sell puts, do condors, sell credit spreads, diagonals, all that. But we do give you some option ideas. Can I show the available sectors again? Yes, here they are. These are the sectors. that you can choose from. And this scan was done in the S&P 500. That's where I do the majority of my scans. Can I help set up? I do have a support team. They can help set up. They're very responsive. As I said, I do monitor my own inbox as well, but there's really nothing to help set up with, but we do understand you run into snags every now and then. We're more than happy, but it's really as simple as downloading the software. You may get a Java thing, a prompt or notification about downloading a 32-bit Java. Just download that right there. What happens at the end of subscription? You'll be notified well before your subscription that your subscription is coming to an end. There is no auto renewal. We don't throw any surprises on you like that. No hidden shenanigans or anything. We don't like those surprises either. It does not require a data feed. Does not require a data feed. It's independent. So this will probably answer your question, Bruce. Can you use it with NinjaTrader? You certainly can. You can use it with any platform you want. It does not require any direct connection or feed to any brokerage platform. It's broker neutral. If you trade equities only, then you don't need to download these others. I don't see why you wouldn't download all three to get some different ideas, but if you don't have any interest at all in currencies or Forex, then you don't have to download them. In volatile times, such as what we're in right now in the current market environment, I love going to the futures markets because there are a lot of good ideas there that aren't typically correlated. Now, when we're in some extreme volatility, extreme kind of sell-off mode that we're in at the current moment, you're going to see a little bit of carryover there in other markets. Commodities, in particular oil and some of the grain markets. And then, when we have other worldly events, Chinese tariffs, things like that, of course, you've got to be aware of those types of situations. But I would love going into the commodity markets and looking for opportunities, and same thing with the currencies. We don't have to be worried about 100-point S&P down days if we're trading corn or trading, the New Zealand Canadian dollar. No, I think I answered this earlier. The platform does not need to be running to get the alerts. So if you come in here, you set your alerts over here. You hit schedule. You can shut this down, and you'll get everything. The alerts from the SST Pro, that's the kind of the separate add-on service. You'll receive SMS, SMS text and email on those. In SMS text only if you choose to do so. That's totally optional. You don't have to do that. Yeah, you can use it for weekly options, absolutely. It does work on Mac if you have that Windows-based program. I think it's called Boot Camp, or there may be some other type of thing. Does not work on iPod though, not at this time. Let me look at your questions here. Catching up with you, Dan. Yeah, we'll look at some of the alerts here momentarily. So for the alerts, you have also done your analysis of the chart for chart patterns. When the alerts, the software, the scanners here that we're looking at, Smart Stocks, Smart Futures, Smart Forex, is not really analyzing a particular chart pattern. Now, when you get into running your own portfolios and using the neural network, I don't know why I keep doing that. Let me see here. Add to step 2. When you get in here into the neural network, it will scan what's going on in the current market environment, not really based on technical patterns per se, not like head and shoulders or double tops, double bottoms like we talked about, but it will look at trend continuation factors and mean reversion type factors, and that will give you a probability telling you this is a high probability trade, maybe a medium probability, or a low probability trade. The alerts are for all markets, Dan. Stocks, futures, and currencies. Dan, as far as I know, we'll honor this price. We'll grandfather this price in. We don't, if you will honor this very special, I mean, if anything, we're going to go up in price. So I will go ahead and go out on a limb without speaking to my team that will honor that price going forward. In fact, there's a very special opportunity to continue for a second year at a deep discount if you decide to do so. It's not mandatory. I'm going to get through these questions and we'll go to the charts. No, you do not need to pay extra for the alert emails or SMS text. It's part of the service. It's part of this right here, SST Pro Alert in the Smart Scanner package. It's all included. There's no extra fees. I personally don't use it to day trade. You can. We do have a tutorial in here on how users can use it to day trade, where you can dial in the minimum max or the length of the trade within days of the search criteria. I just don't use it for day trading. I know some of you may factor in seasonality. There are certain seasonality or times of the day or certain days of the week that are more heavily biased one way or the other. But I'm not that granular with my approach to seasonality, if that makes sense. Not for intraday trading. I've got other strategies and systems that I use for day trading, not seasonality. I use the scanner for intermediate, swing trades primarily. Dan, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just catching up here. Did I answer your questions related to the alerts? So with the SST Pro, yeah, you're going to get suggested. Obviously the symbol. We're going to give you, are we looking to sell? Are we looking to buy? Prices, suggested risk, and suggested target levels. In fact, we sent two out today. I'm not sure what you mean by guaranteed time. Dahlia. Correct. Yes, I've also done my analysis. So let's just why don't we just go to that right now, and I'll show you my exact process. Is that all right? And I'll give you I'll show you my exact process on some trades, an alert that we did today. Give you a freebie, and I'll show you what we've just done recently. All right. So can you see my chart here? Everybody see my chart? All right, cool. All right, so let me give you this freebie. So I'm going to go to the pound, and here is an alert that we sent out today. Now, I'm scanning through these manually because it's just what I do. I've been doing it for years, and I enjoy doing it, and it's part of my process, and it's part of my responsibility to you and my members and students. So I'm looking through these manually throughout the day and at the end of the day. And I've been watching the pound for a while, and we spotted a head and shoulders top or a broader base 1, 2, 3 top at various structure levels. I'm not going to get into all of the technical analysis thinking, but bottom line is I did my analysis on why I wanted to get short from a technical perspective. But whether regardless of how I or you back into it, I want extra confirmation. Does it make sense to have extra confirmation? So I found this on my own, doing my own scans before I went to the seasonal scanner. But I did go to the seasonal scanner and I typed in the pound because I wanted to see what the seasonality or the seasonal bias was. So I hit search. 80% for me is a good percent rate. I know I might be leaving some potential ideas off the table by limited to 80% or greater. There are some really good trades that are profitable 60% of the time, 70% of the time, so on. But I like to leave it by 80 for default, just because otherwise I might have a lot of results. And I have got this 10 to 30 day trading window. I know I'm not just locked into that window. That just gives me a good reference point. Okay, hit the search button, and lo and behold, I found some bearish seasonality. A score of 3 or higher. Any score of 3 or higher is going to be green. Any score below 3 is going to be red. Doesn't mean that you need to just write it off. Just giving you the expected probability based on several factors. So here is this trade. I said, okay, it's bearish. It's supposed to be bearish. It's been bearish 86% of the time over the last 7 years. Average profit's been $1,200. Not bad. We had a loser last year. Loser last year at this time, but that's okay. So that's what I'm talking about, the extra confirmation. Now, let's say that I didn't have my charts open. I was just running scans, just running a broad-based scan in the month of February or month of March, whenever. And I'm going, okay, and then I go into the chart now. So then I find a trade that meets my criteria or something that looks interesting, whether it be corn, the pound, or any stock. So, okay, well, let me go into the chart. And that's what I would have done there. So I would have found this, and I would have gone onto the chart and said, look at this. But I would have found it probably sooner, and I had to wait for it to set up. So that's an example on, that's an example there on the pound. Here's another one that we recently did that we took in our service. Was we shorted wheat. I've been watching wheat already. Oops, let me go to, I've been watching wheat already. And just by coincidence, I don't only look for head and shoulders tops. This is just by coincidence. I saw a topping pattern going on in wheat. In fact, I went to the continuous chart here, and I saw some overhead resistance at these levels on a continuous. And I wanted to trade the front month. Actually, front month was March, but I wanted to give ourselves a little time. So we go to the May contract, and we got short wheat. In fact, we re-entered wheat. We go to this. I've got 3 instances here of bearishness. 3 instances of bearishness. I like seeing that when I am also thinking bearish technical setup. Does that make sense? Another short we just took was platinum. Took a short on platinum. Some long trades we just took were in MPC. We got out of those. We got into MPC around this level here and went up from 53 to about 60. We were also in Hess. And yes, I know that they are all energy related. We got into Hess from 56 up to 64. We were also in XOM, and that did not work out for us. Got into XOM, that did not work out for us. Got in that a little too early. Sucker's selling off. And we're also in Hershey. So those are some examples on commodities, currencies, and equities. Dahlia, if you're having problems, email me at support@seasonalswingtrader.com. Support@seasonalswingtrader.com, and I'll reply back to you. Have I started trades or managing trades differently during volatile days? Yes, I would. I would not just say, all right, this says go long here and exit here. Whoopee. No, you've got to be cognizant of what's going on. This is not designed for you to be glued to your monitor 24/7, but you do need to be. This is a common sense approach, right? Market. And frankly, why we have been hesitant in our service about going long and loading the boat. We've been watching this for weeks, and we have not been trying to be a perma bear, but we were not being a perma bull. I can tell you that. Everything, mostly in the scanner, and when it comes to stocks, is going to yield you what? Going to yield you bullish positions. Why is it going to yield you more bullish positions than bearish positions? Because this market has gone up. It's all it's done is gone up. We're not talking about it the last couple of years, which it has done, but we're talking about for years. The market generally just goes higher, and you don't have to be. I mean, you don't even have to look at a chart to know that. That's why we buy stock in our long-term buy and hold portfolios or whatever. We buy, because in general, the market has tended to go higher. But that is the beauty, to have the flexibility to be able to search for upcoming bearish scans. By doing so, you can see we're scanning here, 90% win rate. And why I would also encourage you to go into the futures markets and also go into the Forex markets or the currency markets. I know some people don't want to trade Forex, and that's fine. You may not even want to trade futures. But if you don't trade underlying futures, I would encourage you to become familiar with them so you can trade the underlying ETFs. For example, wheat, WEAT, we talked about, very cheap. A lot of these commodity ETFs and ETNs, they're not going to track the commodity to the tick, but they're very cheap, very affordable for most people. I mean, we're talking $5.50 here. In the pound that we talked about, the pound trade, you could have traded FXB. There's ETFs for most commodities, and actually we have that broken down. Let me see here in the members area. If you go to SST Pro tab, yeah, I'll see if that symbol is listed. If you go here, and you could always email me at any time, but once you go down here, you can scroll to the bottom, and here you can go to future symbols, and this will give you the future symbol and the related ETF or ETN. So you can see there's ETFs for the currencies, for the indices, interest rate, 30-year bond, actually tracks a 20-year, corn, beans, and wheat, nothing for bean oil, bean meal, one for each of the energies there, one for each of the metals. A lot of these are extremely illiquid, so you got to be careful. I would prefer futures options before some of these commodity options. Cattle, hogs, and then softs, coffee, cotton, sugar, and cocoa. Nothing for OJ that I am aware of. But a lot of these are really illiquid, especially the market. I mean, the options market. So you just have to be careful. All right, let me, I think we're running out of time here. Got a few more minutes. I appreciate everybody's interest. Got a request for SWKS. And do we want to look, we'll just look for both, and how about 80% of the time? Does that work? Hit search. And what we'll do is, let's go to, so we said for the year, we had a bullish trade on Jan 28. Let's see how it performed. Doesn't look too good. Well, so here was the suggested entry date right around January 28th. Suggested end date of March 2nd. But I'll be honest, we all probably trade a little differently. But to me, I just do not really like buying, at toppy levels. Don't like buying at toppy levels. What I'm seeing here is a 1, 2, 3 or a head and shoulders top, and I don't know what it is about head and shoulders. They don't usually appear that easily for me, but I see a 1, 2, 3, or a 1, 2, 3, or a head and shoulders in the making. But regardless, there is a retest. There is a pullback here. Let's see if we had any type of. Now I do like this for a short-term move. So we have a little bit of structure there. So we pull back into support, also the bounce off the 50-day. And you got a move maybe from, I don't know, 112, 114-ish back up to these highs. So it's still a really decent move. So of course, if you had timed the exit perfectly, which sure we have not, but that's to show you that example. Let's see, there was next trade opportunity looks like a bearish trade in March. We actually had another one, I'm sorry. Call for a long trade on Jan 2. So let's look at Jan 2 was right around in here, and it said exit on Jan 24. So we're right here, and there was your exit date. So we're getting long around here, what 119, took a couple dollars of heat, exit date up here around 127. So there you go. Delia, can you email me at support@seasonalswingtrader.com? I'm gonna, so I can answer your questions. Seasonal. Well, I'm gonna ping it to you here in the chat. Support@seasonalswingtrader.com. Dan, I hope I answered all your questions. All right, yeah, no problem, Dan. Shoot me a question. Excuse me. You can send me an email as well of your settings or whatever you're looking at, and I'll be happy to take a look at that for you. Offer some suggestions for you. Hopefully you've been getting the videos too. My name is Silas. My name is Silas. Here, let me type that in. All right, guys. Well, thanks to everybody that's joined, hopped on. I see a lot of people saying I'm in, and I'll be looking for your emails, and really do appreciate your time. I love this stuff. I really do love getting feedback from you guys, what's working, what's not. I've got some really good ideas, suggestions from everybody to help improve the service and the products and things like that we run. So I do appreciate, looking forward to having everybody on board. And again, we're going to have a live member session next week. So that'll be your opportunity to come in there and answer and ask some questions and things. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, shut it down. If I missed any questions, I didn't mean to, wasn't on purpose. But if you have any questions lingering, or maybe that you think of here when we shut down, you can always reach out, support@seasonalswingtrader.com. I won't bite. So look forward to getting your questions. But everybody take care, and welcome to all the new members and students. Look forward to working with you. Take care, good trading, good luck, and we'll see you on the next update. Have a good evening.